We are going to move on to our next session here. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Rich Johnson from our TV house and Dustin Rehmann, Marketing Director from Lamps Plus. Let's welcome them to the stage. Of course. Welcome.
How you doing, Dustin? Awesome. Well, thanks for joining.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to follow that.
Yeah.
We're standing backstage and we hear everybody out here singing and we're going, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't bore you to death up here. Dustin, I've known you for what, 10 years, something like that?
Oh, yeah, at least.
It's crazy.
It's been a while.
So I've been, and we're working together, which I really am thankful for. So thank you for your business.
Oh, welcome.
So, you know, I've worked with you across a number of different companies, and you've been at Lamps Plus for a while. Why don't you tell us about Lamps Plus and what you guys do?
Yeah, so in Lamps Plus, we're the nation's largest specialty lighting retailer. We also manufacture and design a lot of our own home decor and home furnishings. We're a true omni-channel business. We have 35 stores across the western United States, and it's been just a growing business, and it's been wonderful.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that you do, what are your responsibilities? Like, what do you oversee? What are you sort of in charge of?
So right now my current responsibility, I oversee our all of our acquisition campaigns, digital acquisition, social media, paid social, and I do some back-end analytics.
Great.
So kind of nice, well-rounded role.
Very well-rounded role. And so part of that display marketing is part of that.
Yeah.
We're working with you on retargeting. So I've been doing selling retargeting now for years, many years. I think first I encountered you, I was at a company called BuySite, first called Permuto, and then Criteo was before I came here.
Yep.
And now we're working together here. So why retargeting? I mean, everybody says display advertising's dead. Not everybody, but a lot of people see it going this way. You're investing in it. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, we've been doing retargeting for as long as I've been with the company. We started it actually kind of with you guys, and it's great. The cost to acquire a customer, as we know, is really, really high. So we want to get in, and when someone's raising their hand and they're interested, you know, we want to be in front of them and remind them. Attention spans can be really low, and depending on what vertical you're in, like for home furnishings, there's a longer time consideration for purchase. So kind of getting back in front of that customer, reminding them what's out there, that's really important, and that's where we see the value in retargeting as an idea, as a concept. But then the proof's really in when you go and drive the results and you can see what it does with ROI and getting into the analysis and whatnot.
So how are you measuring that? I mean, what are some of the different ways you look at that?
So yeah, when we look at retargeting, we're very focused. Again, it's an ROI metric. It's lower funnel. So we work with all our partners. We do incrementality analysis, multi-touch attribution, all those different tools that you can use, and especially with the incrementality, you can just see the lift and the performance, and that's why we continue and keep driving.
So there's something, we were talking about this. So you started working with us, and we come in and we say, you know, Dustin, let's do 2 retargeters. And you know, that's something that we believe in as a company very thoroughly, that a marketer can benefit by having more than one. You get additional revenue added to your coffers. You've seen that prove out. You've done this before with multiple retargeters. Do you mind talking a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's always a lot of pushback with multiple retargeters. Internally, we had pushback because there's 2 main things that people seem to really worry about, and that's thinking that you're going to bid against yourself, which the way the header bidding works and everything, that's not an issue. But the other issue is frequency. So you have 2 people, they're retargeting, people are going to get bombarded with ads and not be happy. And that's definitely something you can see. We've tested with multiple retargeters in the past, and sometimes you get 2 and the experience just isn't good and doesn't work. And you'll see that really quick. Your customers will be upset, but you can even see that in your data. So one of the things we do is we'll look for audience overlap and a number of different things, but when I'm looking to work with a second retargeter as a partner, the thing I'm looking at is like, what are you doing different? So everybody has their own special sauce and who they're going after. And the whole reason why I'm happy to do 2 retargeters, it's just a huge market out there. Everybody's not going to reach everybody. And each partner, you have the type of customer you're going to segment and go after. And another marketer maybe has a different little way they do it, and they're going after a different type of customer. And with RTB House, we've seen great, you go after a really high value ROI customer that's going to lead to a longer lifetime value for us. And when we look at the metrics in the back end, there's like a 5% overlap that we're seeing. It's very, very low.
Yeah, that's what we've seen globally. Is very low overlap.
Yeah.
And then I'm glad you're seeing that we're driving you a high value customer, so that's good.
Yeah, and that was the whole pitch when we were talking, is they're using the deep learning, which is a little different than some of the machine learning or the different algorithms other companies are using to pick the customers they want to go after.
So, and I don't want to talk about algorithms because that's a whole nother topic and probably for a different conference. But if we think about this, you said to me, one of the things I hear a lot is, well, you're really going after a different type of customer. So you said you see us going after a different type of customer. How are you looking at that? You said something backstage to me that I thought was interesting. You said, if I get somebody on the site, I can tell really quickly about the overlap and the value. How do you do that?
Yeah, we're looking through our analytics data. We have a lot of history on our customers, so when they're coming in, again, we're doing the full value. We're looking at the whole customer journey as a whole. And the customers already come to the site, they've kind of raised their hand and showed interest in something. And then, so we already know who that customer is. You're going out and retargeting when they come back by looking at their browse history, the attributes of the products they're looking at. We can kind of bucket them into different tiers of where we think they're going to land and project out their future lifetime value.
Is creative important in all this?
Creative is extremely important. Like for any brand, like there's a lot of people who go out and do this. Like one of the reasons I think you mentioned earlier, display kind of being dead. I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of the creative that's out there. You want branding, you want something that's going to resonate with the customer, and retargeting works really well in this because they're already familiar with. You're kind of just reminding them, and it catches their eye, and they're very interested in that. And as a company, we want to project a certain image, so being able to work with partners that can customize the creative as much as it can to match our brand and provide the aesthetics that we want. And again, that follows through not just the ad, what happens when they come back to our page. That's extremely important.
So are you able to talk about that quickly? Because you pioneered something at Lamps Plus when they come back to the page.
Yeah.
So we're running dynamic creative with you. We customize it highly. User clicks on that, they come back, and you've created a unique experience with a partner of yours. So maybe.
Yeah, we work. So again, we already know these customers because they've been to the site previously. So when they come back to our page, besides showing them the products that they were interested in, we use our personalization engine to show them to other products they might be more likely to purchase or might be more interested in, to help add more value to that experience. And we've seen great results out of that. Lower bounce rate, a higher conversion rate.
Right.
And it just makes the experience for the customer a lot better because instead of them having to browse through everything and go back into the site, they're just presented with a select set of results that we think are personalized just for them based on everything that we know about them.
So essentially a 1-2 punch. You've got personalized experience going out in your display marketing campaigns, and then I come to the site and I'm getting a personalized experience on the site.
Exactly.
And that creates higher sale.
Yeah, there's just a synergy there. The personalization we get from the engine already, they're showing them a set of products, and then we're adding more value also when they come to the site.
What do you think about, so we talked also a little bit about, I think we all know, so if anybody's doing display advertising here, Cookieless World is coming. How are you thinking about that? What does that look like from your perspective today?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's something I think a lot of people, at least myself, I've been dealing with this for 4 years now, preparing for it and had seen things change and expand out. And it's, there's still a lot of unknowns in that. But again, we're doubling down on our first-party data, just like everybody else, and then doing what we can to be prepared for when that switch happens. But it's also like selecting those right partners who we know are going to be able to still add and provide that value to us with the data that they have and they can collect.
Is incrementality measurement part of that?
Yeah. We work with incrementality on every one of our partners just to show the value and the ROI for the campaigns. You have to, especially with and the further you go up the funnel, I mean, that's the only way you're going to really show value.
So I think a lot of folks, if you don't have a massive data analytics team on your site, maybe you're a lean team, how do you run an incrementality test? Is that something, is that too weedy? Are we getting too far in the weeds there?
No, I don't think it's too mean. I mean, a lot of like, you can work with your individual partner. A lot of the partners will just set that up, and that's something that you can do. That's something that's extremely easy to do. They'll just do the blind, you can do the blind creative test. What do they call it? The Smokey the Bear ad. But I mean, it's a very simple process that you can do out the gate, and then of course you can get more and more advanced, and then we could dive into the weeds and probably do a whole hour presentation on just doing that. But yeah, it's a very simple process.
Cool.
For doing incrementality.
Quickly, so in the last couple minutes left, we talked a little bit about so retargeting, but display media is a lot more than retargeting. RTB House is a full funnel platform. We worked with you on some things. How are you looking at that funnel? How are you looking at advertising to a user across the funnel, new customers, branding? What can you say there in terms of being able to maximize the full capabilities of a display advertising set?
It's tying your data. It really comes down to tying your data together to make sure you're following that customer's journey as much as you can. Like for us, there's a long time period between purchases, so it's great when you can work. If you have a single partner you can work with to do some of that, because you can see, it's really easy to get the water flow analysis to see how things are working through your progressing as you go out to acquire new customers, how many fell in retargeting or the mid funnels or reactivation campaigns. There's so many campaigns you can do. And then also you can work, the bigger your teams get, you can work with your analytics teams too to work and bring that data all together from all your different vendors. And that's when you start getting things like multi-touch attribution and various other ways of measurement.
So we've sort of reached the end of this little bit. What didn't we talk about that you think is important?
We haven't talked about it. It would be, I think the best thing is just having that testing mindset going into everything that you do. I mean, we kind of like hinted at it, but it's going in and validating what you see, no matter what it is. I mean, we have campaigns that we think are going to be great. We go in and test them. They work, they may don't. But it's that constant testing, constant evolving, constantly learning, because the customers are always changing, the technology is always changing, and to keep adding value and growing the business, you just have to have that testing mindset.
So testing can be heavy lifting sometimes, but you find it's worth it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, we get so much value out of it, and the more effort we put into it, the more value we get out of it, and that's helped us grow and continue to grow to this day.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Dustin. Thanks for coming up here. Real quick too, so we are giving out a $250 Lamps Plus gift card. We are in Directors Room 6, just down the hallway. You can drop your card in or fill out a little form. We also have a tablet from Acer. Acer Computers works with us too, so we're giving away one of their tablets. So drop on by. I don't know if Dustin's there. You can maybe take a picture with Dustin. Get that put up on your Instagram page. I know you're famous around here. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Coming up is Gary Burtka, also from RTB House. He's going to do a panel on innovation. Thank you so much.